Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Jacksonville Jaguars vs New England Patriots. Jacksonville is allowing an average of 26.4 points per game, which is 27th in the NFL. The Jaguars are allowing 123.5 yards rushing and 229.7 yards passing per game, for a total of 353.2 yards, which is 20th in the NFL. The statistical leaders on defense for Jacksonville are Myles Jack with 97 tackles, Josh Allen with 5.5 quarterback sacks, and Tyson Campbell with 2 interceptions. Coming off of back-to-back losses, the Patriots need a win here, and I don't see them messing around with the worst team in the NFL. New England is 8th in the NFL with a +7 turnover differential and will make a long night for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are dead last in the NFL with a differential of -19. New England is 11th in the NFL in scoring with an average of 25.9 points per game. The Patriots are averaging 122.4 yards rushing and 221.5 yards passing, for a total of 343.9 yards per game, which is 17th in the league. Quarterback Matt Jones has passed for 13 yards, with 18 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. The leading rusher for New England is Damian Harris, who is questionable, with 857 yards and 12 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, who is also questionable, is the leading receiver with 71 receptions for 723 yards and 1 touchdown. Our first betting advice is to pick New England Patriots -16. The Patriots are 11th averaging 25.9 ppg and 17th picking up 343.9 yards of total offense. The defense has been where New England has shined the most. The Pats are 3rd in the NFL in total, 315.5, and passing yards, 193.7 allowed, along with 27 takeaways. They are also 2nd, holding opponents to just 17.3 ppg. The Patriots defense could very well be without linebacker Matthew Judon on Sunday after he was been placed on the reserve COVID-19. Judon leads the team with 12.5 sacks on the season, 8.5 more than any other player on the roster. In the latest loss, Jacksonville improved their scoring average but is still dead last in the NFL, averaging 14.5 ppg and 26th picking up 308 total yards. James Robinson leads the team with 767 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, while gaining 4.7 yards per attempt. Rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 player taken in the 2021 NFL Draft, is 28th with a 32.6 QBR and has thrown 9 touchdowns against 14 interceptions. Our second betting advice is to pick under 42. Quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Miami Dolphins vs Tennessee Titans. Miami is averaging 20.3 points per game. They are throwing for 224.4 yards and rushing for 86.6 yards per game. Tua Tagovailoa completed 19 of 26 passes for 198 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in the win over the Saints. Duke Johnson had 13 carries for 39 yards, while Jalen Waddle had 10 catches for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Miami has played well defensively, giving up 21 points per game. They gave up 3 points in their last game and will need a similar effort if they want to win this game. Miami has won 7 straight games to get back into playoff contention, but a closer look will show that they faced a series of cream puffs. The Dolphins have beaten teams with the following quarterbacks under center for the opposition: Tyrod Taylor, a struggling Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco, PJ Walker, Cam Newton, Mike Glennon, Zach Wilson and Ian Book. That's hardly a murderer's row by any stretch of the imagination. Tannehill hasn't put up great numbers this season, and he's been sacked at a ridiculous rate this season, but the Titans are at home, knowing that a win can clinch a division title. He's also familiar with Miami and would love to deal a major blow to his former team's playoff chances. Our first betting advice is to pick Tennessee Titans -3. This season, the Titans are 25th in the league in passing offense with 201.8 yards per contest and 4th in rushing offense by averaging 138.8 yards per game. Tennessee stands 15th in the league in scoring offense with 23.8 points per game and tied for 15th in scoring defense by allowing 21.7 points per game. Ryan Tannehill is 321 of 481 passing for 3,327 yards with 15 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. He's third on the team with 265 rushing yards plus 7 scores, though he has been sacked 45 times already this season. Derrick Henry leads the league with 219 carries for 937 yards and 10 touchdowns this season. Donta Foreman, 86 carries, 365 yards, 2 TD, and Dontrell Hilliard, 39 carries, 248 yards, TD, have carried the load with Henry on injured reserve. A.J. Brown leads the team with 57 receptions for 760 yards, plus 4 scores on the year. Julio Jones, 25 catches, 369 yards, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, 34 grabs, 398 yards, 3 TD, and Chester Rogers, 26 receptions, 284 yards, TD, are over the 250-yard mark in receiving yards this season. Michael Badgley was 1 of 2 on extra points and missed his lone field goal try this season. Randy Bullock is 34 of 37 on extra points and 24 of 28 on field goal attempts, with a long of 51 this year. Our second betting advice is to pick over 40. Los Angeles Rams vs Baltimore Ravens. Cooper Kupp had a 37-yard reception on third down in the fourth quarter to help put the game away. He had 10 catches for 109 yards to become the first player with at least 90 receiving yards in 14 games of a single season. Antonio Brown, 2014, and Michael Irvin, 1995, did so in 13 games. Kupp will have plenty of opportunities against a Ravens team, allowing 280 passing yards per game. The Ravens have done an admirable enough job hanging in there with one of the longest injury lists in recent memory, but keeping up in this matchup is too much to ask as they are running out of gas. Los Angeles has a balanced defense that can attack the depleted Ravens in too many different ways, and even if Huntley works some magic again, Baltimore won't be able to match the Rams' drive for dive in a shootout. Even while dealing with consistency issues, the Rams lead the NFL with 6.1 yards per play, and the ceiling is even higher than that on the weeks where Stafford plays a good game. Kupp is about to rewrite the NFL record book, which is not an ideal matchup for the Ravens when they are on their 11th string quarterback and just got shredded by Joe Burrow for the 4th most passing yards in a single game in NFL history last Sunday. Johnson was 28 for 40 for 304 yards, with 2 touchdown passes and an interception. Tight end Mark Andrews had 8 catches for 125 yards and a TD. The Ravens were ineffective running the ball, with Devonta Freeman leading the team with 17 yards. Lamar Jackson practiced on Wednesday but had a noticeable limp. He remains questionable for this crucial home game against the Rams. Huntley is coming off the COVID list, so he is expected to start. Our first betting advice is to pick Rams -4. The Ravens are 7-8 against the spread and had covered in 4 of their previous 5 games, despite all the injuries prior to losing to Cincinnati big. Overs are 8-7 for the Ravens, with each of their last 3 games going over the betting total. Baltimore is around an average scoring offense at 23.7 points per game, although it does rank top 5 in the NFL, with 382.1 yards per contest. The Ravens' defense has predictably struggled with so many injuries, ranking near the bottom of the leaderboard, with 23.7 points and 382.1 yards allowed per contest. It's sounding like second stringer Tyler Huntley will start for the Ravens after he completed 86 of 125 pass attempts for 743 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, while adding 168 yards and 2 scores on the ground across 5 games before missing last week in COVID protocol. Freeman has 114 carries for 479 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Andrews is having a massive season with 93 receptions for 1,187 yards and 9 scores. Patrick Queen is having a sophomore breakout with 92 tackles, including 10 for loss, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits and a forced fumble. Our second betting advice is to pick over 46.5.